Hello and welcome to Basic Fishing Bites. In this video I'm going to explain how you use a line clip like this to aid accurate casting to a set distance. Now I've got to get this in there straight away folks, and hopefully some of you will find this some comfort, but I'm probably the worst, most uncoordinated natural caster the world's ever seen, but I have managed to get myself to quite a good level just by following a few simple steps. And a real key part of that is this, the line clip. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you before I do anything is just how the line actually goes on there. Now there's a few different ways of doing this, but for me I always just have my finger on the spool. I take the line around the front of the clip like that and off the back like that. If I want to be really short, I'll sometimes even do it twice. All right, so that's then never going to come off. Undo that now, so that's running freely. It's also important after every session, by the way, to take off any old clips, just so that you're not casting out at the start of a new session and hitting a clip you didn't know was there. So what we're going to do now as a point of exercise is we're going to cast up to that island there, or just off it. That's the aim. So how would I set this up to do that? Well, the first thing is always cast short of the mark to start with. That's what I like to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is cast out. I have done a separate video on casting technique which you can watch on this channel as well, but this is specifically about how to use the line clip. So I'm going to cast out and aim to drop just short of the island, so somewhere about there. You'll see that's probably landed 5-6 yards short. Ideally I want to be another 2 or 3 yards closer. So even though I am sort of a little bit close to the island there, not as close as I'd like to be, I am going to put a clip on that and I'm going to reel in and cast again. And there's a reason for that. I always like to just make sure, and that sounds weird, but sometimes the wind can catch a cast, or sometimes you drift one way or the other. So let's just make sure that I can get 6 yards off again. So we're going to do it again, and we're going to hit the clip just above my head this time, and you'll see now it's dropped a little bit closer, and that's because we've hit the clip high. And I like to do that because it just aids you cushioning the bomb as it goes in the water. So we now know, hitting that clip high, we're probably, as I said, 7 yards off the island and probably 4 yards off where we want to be. So we're going to pay out about 4 yards of line. 1, 2, 3, 4 yards of line off there. And then we're just going to tighten that back up. I'm going to put that clip on. 1, 2. So now what I hope will happen this time, when I cast in and hit that clip nice and high, it will be around about where I want it to be, nice and close to that island. So keeping the same marker, the same line of sight, which obviously I've talked about on my casting technique video, out we go, hit the clip nice and high, down we go, and as you can see, that's absolutely spot on where I wanted it to be. So I'll show you one more time. And just reel in. Cast out, and remember we're going to hit that clip nice and high. And just out she goes, hit the clip, and there she is, right next to the island. So I'll show you one more time, just that technique on the cast. Obviously putting the clip on is all about just trial and error, getting it to where you want it to be. But the key thing for me is generally hitting that clip high. So out she goes, back with the rod, hit the clip, and you'll see that landed exactly where I want it, about 3 yards off the island. One little caveat and something to play with as you get more advanced with your casting. If you're wanting to cast under a feature, like there might be an overhanging tree you want to cast under there, then you can play about with hitting the clip a bit lower so that your feeder darts in. But as a general rule, by hitting the clip high, you just give yourself a chance to feather it in and get it to hit the water nicely. And the other thing, the reason I've come sort of 3 yards off, when you put a loaded feeder on, loaded method feeder, it will sometimes go a little bit further than a bomb, probably another half a metre, something like that, half a yard. So yeah, I always think err on the side of caution with a bomb until you put a feeder on, because it will travel just a little bit further. I hope you found that of use, folks. That's how I use a line clip to get accurate casting when fishing the bomb and feeder.